Welcome to day 165. We're going to be looking at 1 Kings 15 and 2 Chronicles 13 to 14, and then going to Philippians 4 in the New Testament. We've got King Abijah taking over in Judah, the southern kingdom based in Jerusalem. He continues in the bad choices line of kings and did not love God as his great-grandfather David had. His reign was focused on a continuing war with Jeroboam in the northern kingdom of Israel until he died, and he was followed by his son Asa. Asa was different from his dad. He revived the worship of God and cleaned out many of the idols and priests of other religions. Regretfully, he didn't get rid of everything, which will cause problems down the road. War with Israel continued. To end it, Asa sent gold and silver to a neighboring ruler in order to get him to break a treaty with Israel and fight alongside Judah. This helped for a while, but then Asa died as well. As we read through Kings and Chronicles, it seems we get small tidbits about the kings, mostly whether they worshiped God or followed other gods and practices, and whether they were at war. We will be going between the history of Judah and Israel, and it is not always a cheerful story. Continuing in this format, we get some new kings in Israel. Nadab got 2 years before dying, and he was evil. Then Baasha took over, and he killed everyone in Jeroboam's family so they couldn't claim the throne again. This is very Game of Thrones. Chronicles gives more details of troop numbers and locations of battles and fortifications. In chapter 13, we hear the faithfulness of Judah to sticking with God and the priests of Aaron. God came through to protect Abijah in one battle against Jeroboam. After Asa becomes king, Chronicles indicates there was a time of peace and building up Judah. But God again stands with Judah as a testimony to their faithfulness. The two texts don't completely line up as to battles and details, but the primary focus is whether the leaders and people are faithful to God. While it is easy for us to get lost in the names and battles of this section of the Bible, there will be individual stories that are useful in our own faith journeys. More importantly, I wonder what kind of history would be written of our lives. Will our chroniclers be able to say we were faithful to God, or that we did evil in God's eyes? Were we people of justice and mercy, or pleasure and comfort? You may gloss over the details in this reading, but we can all be inspired to live lives of faithfulness. On to our last chapter of Philippians. Paul is always so encouraging in his letters, and I love the beginning of this chapter with his exclamation of love for the people and his joy in knowing them. I also love the instruction to celebrate God and be joyful. Let the world see God in your joy and your service to your neighbors. Let prayer cover over worry and anxiety. God can replace the worry in your life. You are what you think about, so focus on love and grace from Jesus instead of worrying of the world. Finally, Paul expresses his gratitude for the support of the church in Philippi while Paul was starting out in Macedonia. It doesn't sound like a lot of churches took the time to share resources with Paul, and again, this sounds like our experience today. How many people and churches are focused on their own local needs and fail to share resources across the Christian connection? This is one thing I love about the Methodist tradition. We are intentionally a connectional church, sharing buildings and pastors and finances and volunteers around the world. We are stronger together. This finishes Paul's letter to the Philippians. Tomorrow we will start on Colossians. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much.